Kristy Diaz-Trahan. I have the privilege and pleasure to be the Parks and Recreation Director for the town of Oro Valley. Thank you for being here. Yeah, give it up. So we are here to celebrate a milestone for our community, the groundbreaking of Naranja Park. This morning I will provide a brief background. I will introduce our mayor, Joe Winfield, and then I'll come back. Yeah, hey, if anybody wants to shout at any time, go for it. That's what we're here for, right? Yeah. And then I'll be back to talk about the timeline and some expectations, to recognize and give special thanks to people. Generally that happens at the beginning, but sometimes folks run late. So this way, if we do it at the end, it gives people time to arrive, right? And then we will do groundbreaking and photos, and afterwards, with this little breeze, we'll be able to fly those wonderful blue kites that we bought. So some background. Oro Valley leadership has had vision for several decades. 22 years ago, the leaders purchased this property with the intent of it being a park. Think about that, 22 years ago. Where were you 22 years ago? Some of you weren't even around, right? And thank goodness we have them here climbing. Shortly after that, the town went through some master planning processes. There was a master plan done in 2005, and then an update in 2007. Hold on, the wind's blowing, hold on. Just see that little sticker? There's Naranja Park stickers over there also, by the way. In 2013, the council at the time decided to fund the initial infrastructure project for this park. And that ended up and resulted in the two large oversized sport fields to the south and the dog park and all of the infrastructure, which meant bringing in reclaimed water, potable water, and utilities. That was planned out for future growth, which will be significantly helpful in our project today. Another master plan update was done in 2015, and shortly thereafter, the fields you're sitting on were constructed as a phase 2, if you will. In 2019, late 2019 through 2021, the Parks and Recreation Department conducted a community-wide master planning process, looking at the entire park system. As a result, that was presented to Council in May of 2021. In July of 2021, the Town Council approved amenities for a $25 million parks bond. That deserves a round of applause. That bond includes exterior improvements to our community center, to include tennis courts and additional pickleball courts, the golf course irrigation projects, and improvements to the parking lot, which will increase parking by about 40%. Also includes three multi-use path connections, and those are to connect places that have a gap. So those three will be coming online, and then at least 50% of that project is dedicated to this place, to Naranja Park. Through a competitive bidding process, we selected McGann & Associates as our architect, and also Hayden Building Corp is here to build it. So today is the day that we officially kick off this project. Next, I would like to invite our mayor, Mr. Joe Winfield, up to talk about his vision.
I would also like to acknowledge the community. I realize that many of us are residents of Oro Valley. Some are staff here, some are with the contractor, with McGann & Associates, but just raise of hands of how many of you are just live in the neighborhood, live in Oro Valley, that are here to support the park. That's wonderful. So congrats. Yeah, let's. We'd also also have members of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and so maybe if you could raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. Nice. I mean, clearly projects like this involve a lot of different individuals, staff, the council, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, you as members of the community. The vision that we have for Naranja Park is really illustrated in the site plan, and this was a vision that emerged out of this planning process that Kristy spoke of, and I am just excited about the result of that and the plans for Naranja Park to expand the multi-use fields, to add basketball courts, pickleball courts, splash pad, a bike pump track and skate park and trails, ramadas and so forth. So all of these amenities will add so much to the quality of life that we have all come to expect and enjoy as residents of the town of Oro Valley. You know, you might ask yourself, what is it like to be the wife of a mayor? And I'll give you a little snapshot here. A couple evenings ago, I was reading out of the general plan to Mary Ann, if you can believe that. So it's not real exciting, actually, to be the wife of the mayor, but I was reading from the general plan. There's 12 guidelines that kind of lay out the community's vision for our town. And one of those design guidelines focuses on parks and recreation. And I was really thrilled to read, because that was a plan that really had its beginnings in about 2014-15. So now we're in 2022. And some of the bullet points for our Parks and Recreation included additional multi-use fields, which Naranja Park will be providing. It identifies a skate park, which will be a part of Naranja Park. It talks about a BMX track, which a pump track, bike pump track, will help to fulfill that vision. So these are expectations, a vision that our community has had for a number of years. And it's really wonderful to be a part of the execution of the implementation. I was telling Gary, a previous member of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, that it's really wonderful to be involved in these planning processes. But what's really exciting is to be able to turn dirt, to really bring these things to fruition so that our entire community can enjoy this park. It's already well loved, and it's only going to be more loved as time goes on. I know each of us in our own particular ways enjoy being here at Naranja Park. My wife was here this morning with a friend walking the trails. When our family is here with our grandchildren, this playground is a natural attraction for us. The Vice Mayor and I were here one evening, and there were some folks that were from various universities around the country. Were they playing Quidditch? They were playing Quidditch. And so the park is used in a variety of ways. And it's just wonderful that we have an amenity like this that can bring us together for a variety of events, whether those are sports or other events that help to create those memories that Kristy spoke of in her article in the Explorer a few weeks ago. So, you know, I'm just so thrilled to be a part of this morning, to join you in this celebration, this groundbreaking, and thrilled that we're going to see work completed here within the next several months to few years. So thank you so much. Before I give the mic back, so I also was just, I've been visiting with a lot of residents, and yesterday I met a mom whose son plays lacrosse. She was so excited about what's happening here at the park. I met a couple dads who coach mountain biking. They mentioned how thrilled they were that there was going to be a focus on the bike pump track for Naranja Park. So it's just wonderful as I'm out in the community to hear the response from our residents and the excitement that they have for what's being proposed here. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. So I only have about 10 pages left. Bear with me. All right, project timeline and expectations. So as mentioned earlier, we have an architect and a contractor on board. We've been finalizing the master grading plan. Hayden will be out here starting to move dirt next week. So that's why we have all of these fencing pieces put up from here all the way north up to the end of those homes to keep people and pets out of harm's way, to ensure our contractors have a safe work environment and our community also have a safe playing environment. Last Thursday, we held a design meeting with our skate and bike park designer and had a wonderful turnout. He came up with 3 different site plans, and there was such great excitement, as Mayor just alluded to, because that's going to be something brand new for our community. We're adding additional amenities, but that bike and skate place will be the very first in Oro Valley. So that's exciting. Yeah, indeed. We will be hosting an online outreach probably around the end of August, early September, as it relates to the splash pad. So we want to wait for all the families to be done with their summer vacations and come back, and we'll have some designs available for people to vote on and talk through. So that'll be the next fun thing to engage our community in. The next phase after we're finished, we're not finished, as we're concluding the earth moving and really shaping and forming the palette of what this park is going to look like. The next phase is the infrastructure of utilities, water line extension, and then critical to scheduling is to hit the perfect time to grow in grass. So right about this time next year, the sport fields will be sprigged, and we're going to be starting to saturate that because we want to make sure there's a really good grow-in time. And then the rest of the amenities will come online shortly thereafter. So I wanted to kind of walk you through what it would feel like and what it'll look like in this park. So right now I want you to just take a pause and picture yourself hopping in your car or your truck or your SUV with some friends or family, and you're headed to Naranja Park. And you're going to come in off of the new entryway off of Tangerine. And the first thing you're going to be greeted by is a brand new piece of public art that's going to be installed this summer through the Transportation Art by Youth program. As you come in, you're going to take a view to the left and you're going to say, oh my gosh, look at that Labradoodle, it's so cute, because there's going to be a dog park right up there. And as you're coming down the hill, you'll see airplanes flying just west of here. And then you're going to park in the new parking lot, which is right next to where you're sitting. So imagine you're the group that comes to play lacrosse. The doors fly open, the kids grab their sticks and their sunscreen and they go take off, and then you, as parents, you're left filling your wagon with snacks and water and seats and sunscreen, and you see the other families from other teams right next door. And you come together and then you sit in the park as a community, as a family, and cheering your kids on, cheering your neighbors' kids on, and even cheering on the opponent because they made a great play or they made a great move. But maybe you're here, you drove here to play pickleball, because pickleball will be right over this hill. And you're here to meet your friends and play some pickleball, and then when you're done, what do? You just sit in the shade and watch and listen to all of the laughter and look at this beautiful view, because it's a great place to be. Or maybe you're the vehicle that comes and you just barely put that car in park and the door flies open and kids run out and they're like, last one to the splash pad is a rotten egg, because that's what you're here for. You're here to go to the splash pad and you're like, kids, watch out, right? Because that's what happens. Children are so excited because they're going to run and play, and parents are freaking out because they want to make sure they're safe. They'll be safe. They're at Naranja Park. And then while you're hanging out, you look over. Oh, by the way, the splash pad, it's going to be right about here. So you can come over to the playground, you can go to the splash pad, have a grand time. But then you look over kind of where the dog park is now, and you're like, what is going on over there? And you take a walk and there's a bunch of old dudes over there on skateboards. Now, old dudes is what they called themselves at the skate park meeting, so I'm not speaking out of school here. But they're like, I can't wait for Naranja Park to have a skate park. These are the ones that grew up idolizing Tony Hawk. And they're there, and they said they can't wait to get on that skate bike space to enjoy their time, but also to be mentors to the young skaters. And to sit there and watch this just crazy, talented athletes just grinding it out, coming off of big jumps because they're capturing those Instagram moments at Naranja Park. That's what we're here to do. On the way leaving, you're walking back thinking, oh man, that's really cool. You stop and you look at the basketball court, because that's going to be over there too. And you're like, hey, Marcy, because Marcy's the neighbor. She's the girl that plays basketball in the cul-de-sac, but now has a place to play. Marcy, good to see you. Marcy's dribbling. She's like, oh, hi. She stops. She puts the ball on her hip, and you're like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm here. I'm playing. Isn't this amazing? That's what's going to happen here. That's the schedule of events and experiences that are going to take place at Naranja Park. By the way, the big cheer is my daughter. Mayor did recognize our council. I'd like to do it again. Our council members who thank you for supporting this project. Mayor Winfield. Go ahead. Vice Mayor Melanie Barrett. Council Member Tim Bowen. Council Member Dr. Harry Mogreen. Council Member Joyce Jones-Ivy. Council Member Josh Nicholson. And Council Member Steve Solomon. And then also for all of those that were on our PRAB, on our Park and Recreation Advisory Board, currently and historically, thank you for being here. A lot of work went into this. I also want to thank some key members related to this project. First and foremost, our town manager, Mary Jacobs. Where are you, Mary? Oh, right there. There's Mary. Okay, perfect. Our assistant town manager, Chris Cornelison, in the back in blue. Our public works director and town engineer, Paul Kiesler. The project manager, Keith Wood, over there. And just a shout out to everyone else that works for the town that have put in countless hours in getting where we are, putting together budgets and bond packages and marketing and legal descriptions. Just thank you so much for your tireless efforts in that. The project architect, as mentioned, Scott Martinez, project manager, right back there. Don McGann is our assistant project manager. And to his entire team, his subcontractors, you guys have been doing great work for us, and we look forward to the final design. And our project contractor, Hayden Building Corps. The pre-construction director, Fritz Bearhorst. Where are you, Fritz? Oh, over there. Over there, excuse me. Superintendent Rob Bunginger. Sorry, Rob. I apologized to him earlier. I knew I was going to not do well on that one. Project manager Thomas Gordon. Where are you, Thomas? Oh, there we go. And to their entire project team, it's been a lot of work. It's been a great partnership between Hayden and McGann and Associates and the town, developing our first construction project, and all the way to our marketing efforts. The marketing team developed those wonderful kites, so Mother Nature is participating, and there's some super cute desserts with the shovel in there. Isn't that clever? Yeah. So, I'll pick that up. I'll get that, I promise. So anyway, thank you everyone for being here. This is a tremendous turnout for our groundbreaking. We are so excited, and now it is time to break ground. So Mayor, Council, come on up and get a shovel. Thank you.